Basically, what I found and why I like the particular settings I have is I like to start at 0.05 instead of 0.01, and I'll kind of explain why. Because at 0.01, if you put it on, let's go to settings. Actually, I don't want to show my personal information, so I'm going to just bring that down, bring this up, drag it on over. Okay, so let's talk about each part of settings and why I do certain things for each setting. I think that'd be a good way to kind of start the webinar. Let me make sure y'all are not asking any questions either. All right, so you don't have the questions yet. Perfect. So let's go ahead and go into the account. Oops, wrong one again. Cool. So as far as lot size, first of all, let's talk about that. I start off with a 0.05, and this is kind of the reason why. That's because I like to keep the grid at my original settings was keeping your grid multiplier at 2.0. The problem with that is it goes from 0.01 to 0.02 to 0.04 to 0.08 to 1 point something, 1.6 to 3.8, and that once it starts getting to 3.8, it starts getting out of hand for some accounts. All right, it can get to a standard. And so what I realized is that I like the multiplier at 1.2, but the problem with the multiplier being 1.2 is it won't multiply to 0.01. So go from 0.01 to 0.01 to 0.01 to 0.01 to 0.01. But if you start at 0.05, it go from 0.05 to 0.06 to 0.07 to 0.08 to 0.09 to 1.00 to 1. From 0.09 to 0.10 to 0.12 to 1.4 to 0.16 to 0.18. So it can be almost impossible to get to a standard because it's doing small multiply. It's multiplying it by 0.12 versus 2.0. So in hindsight, a 0.05 is safer to me than a 0.01 because on a 0.01 you have to have a 2.0 to multiply it. On a 0.05 you can start off with a 1.2. Let me know in the chat box if that makes sense. Let me know in the chat box. Does that make sense to you guys? As far as understanding why the 0.05 is better than the 0.01 as far as being safe. Okay, perfect. Let's go on to the next part then. So the take profit, you don't have to worry about stop loss because we don't use stop loss. The take profit, I like to use 500. And what I like to do is that's 50 pips. The reason I do that is because since we're not recovering with huge lot sizes, to make up for the recovery, we're aiming for 50 pips instead of 30 pips. So, if we get to a point, because sometimes if it gets to 0.10, it's deep 5 levels in recovery. So with 30 pips, it's sometimes not enough to profit. You're going to take a small loss. So it's kind of up to you. If you don't care about taking small losses every once in a while, then you can do 300. But if you don't mind if you want to try to profit every time, I would do 500 because it's going to aim for, it has more room to go for profit for all the recovery trades. Now, I keep it on 500, but I close my trades on my live account. So what I do is let's say that, I see it at 30 pips and I'm looking at it, I'll just close it. I just check my phone every once in a while. And I say, you know what, this isn't good enough profit, and I close it. The only time I really don't close it is when it's recovering. Then when I see that recovery is working well, I'll close it still. So I don't wait for it to hit 50 pips all the time. Sometimes I do. When I'm asleep, I just let it run its course. But when I'm awake, I just watch it. I say, let me close it. It's at $100. It's at $70, $80. That's great. Let's not have to make $200 every time. I can close it and then it resets. And what I like about it is sometimes let's say that you're in deep recovery, right? Let's say 5 levels deep, and you finally got it to where it's $100, $200 in profit. Just close all the trades, and this what's going to do is it's going to reset the bot to look at the trend over and see maybe maybe we should look at maybe the trend changed on you. So now the next trade you get is going to go in the direction of the trend. So that's why I like the 500, and that's why I manually manage it myself versus letting the bot just do everything. The most work you gotta do, guys, is just close the trade. If you don't have to do that, but I personally like to do that. Trend filter. It's still kind of iffy with this. I use it on some accounts, and sometimes I don't. You do get less trades on trend filter, so that's a good thing. If you want less trades, I keep trade new signal off. Basically, what that means is that it's only going to look for one trade at a time. The extra trades that you get are the recovery trades, so it's never going to trade more than one signal. If you turn it on, it's going to trade every single signal it does. But the problem with that is every signal that starts off at 0.05, for example, they're each going to have their own recovery slot. So 0.5 to 0.06 to 0.07, 0.08, it's going to do it for that signal, for that signal, for that signal. So I keep it off, so that way it's only trading one trade at a time, and it keeps your account very safe. Loss recovery, I pick grid size, grid type. Max lot, you can keep it at 1.0. Grid size, now what grid size does is every 10 pips, for example, let's say it's 100 right here. That means that every 10 pips, because remember we're going points, it's going to take a recovery trade. So if I put it at 200, every 20 pips, it's going to take a recovery trade. If I put it right here, let's say 400, every 40 pips, it's going to take a recovery trade. So the higher your grid size, the more safe it is. So some people, you might never want to recover, but when it has to, you want it to. So you might do like 1,000. So every 100 pips, you say, you know what, take a recovery. So you can play around with those, demo that. I like 200 because you can make money out the recovery. But if you want to be safe, you can do like 400 to 1,000. I like 200. I like I told you, the grid size multiplier 1.2. Pyramiding. Pyramiding, how many trades you're going to allow the bot to have open at one time. So if you keep it at one, it's only going to have one trade open. So I like to keep it between 10 to 100. I just do 100. Daily profits, that's where you want the bot to stop every day. Or so you know what? As soon as it loses $50, I don't want to trade no more for the day. Try again the next day. Or as soon as it makes it $50, I'm done for a day. So it's up to you. If you don't want it to stop at all, then you can do like 5,000 a day. $5,000 loss. This part kind of helps you protect your account. Trailing stop, trailing. Sometimes I keep it on, sometimes I have it off. Depends on different accounts. Like I tell you, demo it. But if I was to have it on this, let's say I had it at 500. If you want a trailing stop, I would do 500, take profit. Set this to true. Set this to probably like 200 and 250, which is 25 pips. Set the distance to 50. And so what that does is when it hits 25 pips, it's going to move the stop loss. It's going to move a stop loss into place at 5 pips. So and then every time it moves, let's say it goes from 25 to 26, it's going to move the stop loss from 5 pips to 6 pips. So if it hits 50 pips, it's great. Let's say it goes all the way up from 25 to 35 pips, right? That means that your stop loss can go from 5 to 10. So if it retraces back to 10, it's going to take you out at 10 pips. So that's kind of like another protection. I like to keep it off, but you can keep it on or off. Again, demo if you want to try it. You got 3 licenses, so you can try with it on and try. You can do the exact same things, one with it off, one with it on, and compare which one you like best. Time confirmation. Time confirmation is based off of your time frame. So it basically confirms the trend on the higher time frame. So if you're on a 1-minute chart, you don't want to use a 4-hour confirmation because that's too far up from my 1 minute. But if you're on a 1-minute chart, I would use like a 30-minute. If you're on a 5-minute chart, I would use a 1 hour. And if you're on a 30-minute chart, I would use a 4 hour. And speaking on charts, the higher your chart, the less trades you get, but the less risky also. So, if you're on a 1-minute chart, it's kind of risky. If you're on a 5-minute chart, it's a little less risky. 30-minute chart, a lot less risky. So it's kind of up to you. You're going to get a lot of trades in the 1-minute chart, though. Again, demo if you're not sure what you want to do. The rest of this stuff, guys, you don't really need to touch. Now, one thing you can do, though, is you can turn off. What I like to do is turn off Sundays and Fridays. And so when you do that, you don't have to worry about having open trades on Friday, and you don't have to worry about entering into a brand new market on Sunday. So you can have it trade from Monday to Thursday, you'll be done. So that's the settings. I'll kind of show you some of the results I got. As you can see, this is a live account. So as you can see, this is a live. I started with $391, and then I added another like 300 just to be safe on the safe side. And I'm just letting it run. Right now it's at It made $1,000 profit. It's at 1,498. I mean, it's actually at 1,650. My bad. Well, it's kind of weird. Why? Oh, because I'm not showing the entire history. All history. There we go. So it's been pretty good. I recommend it. I've done $100 accounts, and I've had a $100 account go to $800. I've also had $100 accounts blow. So you don't want, I always tell people, don't put money in the account that you're not willing to risk, because Forex is very dangerous. And the bigger your account, the more conservative you can be. So, for example, on a $100 account, it's very risky. There's no safe settings for $100. You're dealing with $100. So if you want to play that, you can. Just don't be mad. The good thing is the most you can lose is $100. The worst part is, there's a good chance you can blow it. So if you don't care about $100, go for it. I've seen $500 accounts. I've never seen a $500 account blow, but it could be possible because it's $500. Like you see, my $500 account went to $1,600. My advice for you is to, when you get, let's say you have a $500 account. When you make that $500, pull that initial $500 out, and you can keep the profit $500 in there and let that trade up and just pull profits as you like. But once you make your initial return, you're like, it's all money at this point. But like I always tell people, Forex is dangerous. So, and try to manage your stuff well. And that's why I have that. And I have some new settings coming out. So I'll do a new webinar when the new settings come out. But I'm gonna have 2 different bots. So basically, it's gonna be another bot with just extra additional settings. So you can use both bots, compare both of them, see what you want. It's gonna be the same bot, but it's gonna be new features. So I'm gonna answer any questions now for you guys that you might have. Oh, I'm on some videos. I'm sure. So let me stop sharing the screen. Turn on screen share. Cool. Yeah, multiplier 0.05 lot, multiply 1.2, 200 grid size. That's what I like. You could do higher grid size, that'd be safer. But I like the risk is in the money for me. So I like having a little risk. Does anyone have any other questions? And was this webinar? Yes, it's been recorded. I'm going to upload it. I'm also going to upload it into the back office, and I'll send it on the email. What triggers the buy sell? It uses I use a strategy called the Williams Alligator strategy, and I have a lot of hidden other stuff that helps determine. Because at first, when I first started making the bot, I only had the Williams Alligator, and it was terrible at first. So I had to add extra hidden confirmations in there. So anytime, it won't take the trade unless it confirms the trend on higher time frames, using the Williams Alligator strategy, using different hidden features I put in there to confirm if it's going to be a good trade to take or not to take. And so, depending on what chart you put it on, like a 30-minute chart, it might take longer for it to take a trade because, it's going to take longer for candlestick to build and market conditions to change. On the 1 minute, it's always just switching. So, the higher your time frame, less trades, more conservative. Lower your time frame, more trades, less conservative. So it's kind of up to you. Some people like to see trades all the time. I always tell people you got 3 licenses. I think actually you got 5 licenses. So, but I recommend only having, if you're going to do 5, I recommend putting the bot on, having MetaTrader 4 with 3, and then get a VPS with 3 bots, and then get another VPS with 2 bots versus having 5 at the same time, because that can get kind of hectic. Any other questions? Hopefully it's cleared up some stuff for you guys too, as far as any questions that you might have had. I also, I suggest using the broker that I suggest in the back office, because, there's broker manipulation. So it went from 600 to 1,400 in 6 days, 6 trading days, which is kind of crazy, right? Yeah, you can do that, but I only keep it on 1 pair. I like the silver pair because it moves very fast. Some people use gold. It can trade indices, gold, silver. It can trade stocks like Amazon. It can trade regular pairs. But I always tell people just use 1 pair, at max 2. But I use 1. I'm going to upload as soon as the webinar is over. Any other questions? And also, you're going to get an info. Make sure y'all, please make sure that you pay that 150 every 30 days because you don't want to have the bot shut off and then and open trades also. Unless once it closes trade, you don't want to use my bot no more, then totally fine. But you know, my account went from 600 to 1600 in a week. Now I have mine on a 1 minute chart. I'm gonna be honest. That's a little bit more risky, but it's only $600. I was like, whatever. I'll just try it. I have another one on a 30 minute chart, which trades way far less. But you know, it's up to you. I had a demo account go from 1,000 to 8,000 on some really aggressive settings. I started at a 0.10, so instead of a 0.05, I started at 0.10 on a $1,000 account and went from 1,000 to 8,000 on demo. Now I'm going to test it this week on a live settings because from my perspective, everything I've done on demo is done the same on live with this particular broker. Because you want to deal with brokers that don't want to manipulate, that don't care if you lose or win. Some brokers, they make way more money when you lose, so they might try to manipulate certain things to help you lose. And I can't, you know, at the end of the day, no matter how good my bot is, I can't control manipulation. That's why bots can be dangerous. So you want to definitely choose the best broker with the least amount of chance of adding slippage to your trades. Any other questions? If not, I'll close this thing, upload it so y'all can watch it. And I got, like I said, I'm gonna add a new feature, so I'm gonna do another webinar once my new one comes out. Yeah, I like Prosperity. I'm trying another broker this week with Prosperity compared, so I'm gonna use another one. So I'll let you know this week. I like to test it live on my money first before I have my clients try it. So I'm gonna test $1,000 on it. It's gonna be $1,000 account on this other broker, but I'm gonna have it super aggressive because I want to see, you know, crank it out, see what can happen. You know, I don't care about risking money, but I always tell people, you know, don't have to be me. You know, this is your money. I want you to enjoy the bot, but I don't want you to blow your money and then get mad at me. So Forex is always gonna be risky. I always throw it out there, but my bot prop is really fast. So you know, if you got $1,000 account, you make $1,000 in a week, then just pull your $1,000 out. Then now you got your risk free. So I love my bot, man. Personally, I use my bot personally. So I wouldn't sell something that I wouldn't use myself. So if y'all have no other questions, I guess I'll let you guys go. Hopefully this is a very informative video for you guys. Like I said, you got 3 licenses. Play around, you know, try 3 different scenarios on demo. Maybe you have 1 on live, 2 on demo. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it. That's how I did. I tested for 2 or 3 weeks on whatever settings I'm thinking, and then I'll try it on live on my favorite one. Versus, you know, being eager to just because my bot profits so fast that even if you test it for 2 or 3 weeks before you actually put your live money in there, you can easily get the 150 that you spent in like 2 days because it makes so much money so fast. So there's no real rush to go live when you can just test it first. Test different balances that you're gonna possibly don't test no crazy balance that you're not gonna try, but you can test different stuff. As soon as you put that money in there, you're gonna make the 150 in like maybe a day, maybe 2 hours. That's how fast my bot makes money. So hopefully that helps, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. Y'all have a great Sunday. I will upload this to my YouTube channel and to the back office in the members lounge.